Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, there is a whole bunch of new content that is coming to Master Duel. I literally just did a video about this like 2 days ago because I was like, hey, there are some things that people maybe might not know about that they need to know for Master Duel, mostly in terms of cards and archetypes that should be coming to the game. And we just got this update where it is, it's still a work in progress as of when I am writing this, but we know a bunch of cards are coming to the game, and yeah, so let's just quickly talk about a lot of the new update or new data mined material. First of all, shout out to Random Plocks and Jade Hex for the amazing work that they do in the Master Duel meta as well as Duel Links meta website. They continually post tons of content all the time, so just shout out to both of them. Moving on, though, as you can see, we have a whole lot of new cards, specifically the archetypes of Cyberdark, Sword Soul, Ice Jade, Destiny Hero, Despia, P.U.N.K, Drytron, and Earth's Arctic archetypes are receiving cards. Notably, things that are not on here is Flunderies and the Adventure Engine and some of the other cards like that I did talk about in my other video. One thing that I didn't mention that I should have is the P.U.N.K archetype. So I'm going to quickly cut to myself where I record me talking about P.U.N.K. All right, guys. So here we are with P.U.N.K. And quite frankly, it's pretty simple. It is an archetype that is recursive, that has a lot of different ways to get to their boss monsters through the fusion. This guy allows you to fusion summon, and then we have, I believe, this one also allows you to synchro summon. So you could fusion summon using your hand or field, and then you can synchro summon using your field on your opponent's turn. So basically, you fusion summon out your fusion, and then you synchro using your fusion into your level 11. You've got 2 level 8 monsters, or technically 3 with the fusion, and then 4 level 3 tuners. Now, this is why the deck is played. The deck is played with Eldritch to abuse Halqifibrax. That's it. It's just a way to get to Halqifibrax consistently, and it is a recursive deck that it pairs really well with Eldritch, as does everything, because Halqifibrax is crazy, and it basically says, hey, combo off for free, and then have the additional recursion that is Eldritch. So it's pretty simple. They do have some very unique effects. They're all psychic type, on top of the fact that they are all level 3, so they can all be E-Tellied out, which E-Telly is currently at 3 in the TCG, which is why it's played. It's currently at 2 in Master Duel. I wouldn't be surprised if it does end up coming to 3. It shouldn't, because that card's crazy, but it might. So that is something to look out for as well. But in all honesty, this archetype is mostly just used to abuse Hulk. It does have some really cool effects, though. They can search out a spell and a trap with these two, respectively. These spells are added protection for your monsters, as well as just like counter effects, if that makes sense. Like, if you are affected, your opponent is affected. It's very unique, and like, honestly, it's a really cool archetype. But I mean, they're all tuners. And then the traps, this one negates, and it's basically Sanctified, except it targets. Dark Lord Sanctified, except it targets, I think. Yeah. So it targets, negates, and then if you control a P.U.N.K, you gain life points. And then this one, if you control a P.U.N.K, it can target face-up cards. But if you don't control a P.U.N.K, you can target you can target set cards and destroy it. So you just target a set card your opponent controls, destroy it. If you have a P.U.N.K, you target a face-up card. You can target a face-up card instead. The 8s can also special summon themselves by tributing a P.U.N.K. So the idea is to get something like this guy onto your side of the field, fusion summon into this guy, maybe tribute off for one of these guys to get a more beneficial effect, and then synchro during your opponent's turn into this guy. That's the idea. Or you could literally just go this guy into a fusion into a Halkafib Rex. That also works. So that's the idea. Let's hop back to past me. All right, so now that we're back from P.U.N.K, hopefully that made at least a little bit of sense. Mostly this is used with Eldritch, as I probably already mentioned. But yeah, let's just quickly do the cards. I'm not going to explain all the cards or read all the cards, but I will explain some important ones. Notably, Destiny Hero Denier is basically copies 3, 4, and 5 of Destiny Hero Malicious, so that's mostly what it's used for. It does have a few other applications, but that's most of its use. We have the P.U.N.Ks, which I've talked about. We're not getting all of... maybe we are getting all of the P.U.N.Ks. So yeah, there's that. We have the Ice Jades, which don't do anything. Not really worth noting. They just exist. We have the Sword Souls here, which super nice. Just very nice to see. I don't know why this is spaced this way. There's like 2 Sword Souls, and then another Ice Jade, and then 2 Sword Souls, and then Despia card, and then 2 P.U.N.Ks. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to go this way, but I don't think so. Anyway, one thing to note is that Ecclesia, which is a Sword Soul support card more so than a Fallen of Albaz support card, which is technically both, is coming to the game at the same time as all of the rest of the Sword Soul stuff, which is not what happened in the TCG, and I did note that in my previous video. So if you were concerned that Sword Soul might not be at full power, yeah, we're basically getting full power Sword Soul. I think we're missing 1 card from some of the latest sets of the TCG, but other than that, it's basically at full power. Which is enough. And the cards that they got in the TCG were just extra kind of corner case cards, so they're not too useful. Moving on, we also have some Cyberdark support. This is most likely going to show up in the structure deck, I would imagine, because that's where it came in, or showed up in the TCG. I would expect another like pack deal, as it is with Despia and the Speedroid cards and stuff like that, currently in the shop. I would also imagine that all of these cards arrive when all of those cards, the Despia and the Synchron and like the Synchro stuff, are all gone from the shop. I expect this to just replace that. Now, again, this isn't the full list. We're missing like some Earth Arctic stuff and all of that. But all in all, we're still, as you can see, all of the Sword Soul stuff is going to arrive. We get most of the P.U.N.K stuff as well. Like we have the P.U.N.K down here. We have the Sword Souls. We're getting, for Despia, we're getting Ad Libitum. We are getting Branded in Red, which is a quick play fusion spell. Very, very nice. And we're getting Masquerade, which is more or less the win condition, or at the very least, kind of the win condition for Despia. It's basically just chain energy. We are getting DPE, which is very scary. This card is going to take over the meta, period. It will. It's not whether it will or won't. It will. One thing I do want to note that makes this very scary is Lord of the Heavenly Prisons is coming to Master Duel. I'm going to read this card in its entirety because it is a card that I genuinely forgot to mention, because basically no deck plays this currently in the TCG, which is where I get most of my information. It's the locals that I play at, the content that I watch, etc. So I genuinely forgot about this card, but this card is genuinely insane and will break Eldritch, or just any trap deck. So let me quickly discuss it. During your main phase, you could reveal this card. This card in your hand becomes revealed until the end of your opponent's turn. While this card is revealed by this effect, set cards on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects, period. Any set card cannot be destroyed. If a set, spell, or trap is activated, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then, if you activated this effect while this card was revealed, you can set a spell or trap directly from your deck, but banish it during the end phase of the next turn. Now, granted, if you activate it before the end phase of the next turn, it still goes to the grave. So, there you go. You can only use one effect per turn and only once that turn. All in all, an absolutely insane card. It protects your back row. You just reveal it, you set a whole bunch of cards, you protect your back row. On the follow-up turn, when you activate that back row, you special summon it from your hand, and then get an additional back row to use on the following turn. Absolutely insane card. Definitely a big pickup if you are playing a trap deck, or just a big pickup in general. I have one in paper, I use it in my deck, and every time I see it, I'm ecstatic, and it basically wins me games by itself. Absolutely insane. In fact, I was playing a trap deck against heroes. They went for the board wipe, where they wipe your spells and traps, and they wipe your monsters. I forget the exact combo, but I had this revealed, and I just was like, okay, cool. And all of my back row stayed. It was very funny. Also, it's a rock, so Blocky Boy can interact with it. How fun. Anyway, I don't think there's really anything too noteworthy outside of, like, the P.U.N.K cards and what I've already discussed. So, there you go. Let's move on. We are getting a new structure deck, as you can see right here. It is going to be a Cyber Dark or Cyber Dragon style structure deck. I would imagine it's similar to the one that we received in the TCG more recently, with a lot of these cards in it, like the Cybernetic Horizon and Cyber Dark World, etc. Moving on, this is something that I'm really excited for. The Link Festival, Monster Type Festival, Attribute Festival, and Fusion Festival have all been confirmed. I don't know when, in what order these are going to arrive. I think Fusion Festival might be first, but I could be very wrong, seeing as how we don't have a banner. It might be the Link Festival one that is most likely first. We know what these are. These are pretty simple. We've had the Synchro one. We've had the XZ one. It's pretty much similar. The two that I want to talk about, though, is the Monster Type Festival and the Attribute Festival. Monster Type is interesting, seeing as how it isn't a specific attribute or a specific type of monster that they have named. It is just a monster type. I'm guessing what it's most likely going to be is just you are only allowed to play one singular type of monster within your deck, but you can play whatever type of monster deck you want. So if one day you want to play dragons only, the next day you could play warriors, and then the next day you could play, I don't know, cybers, right? And it's not going to lock you into a specific type, which I think is fine, especially for monster types, given how numerous they are. It does make a bit more sense to just kind of be like, all right, you can only play one specific type of monster, but you can play basically however many different types of decks you want. The Attribute Festival is where I think it's going to basically be the same thing. You can only have lights, darks, waters, fires, earths, winds, only those in your deck. However, this is one where I think it would be better to split it up and be like, hey, you can only play lights or darks. You can only play fire or water. You can only play earth or wind. I think that would be much better to split it up in that way. And I think the monster type could also benefit from that. Just like, hey, you can only play warriors, beast warriors, or winged beasts this event. But you can only have like one type in your deck still. Right? Same thing with the attribute, right? You can only play lights or only darks. I doubt that that's what it's going to be. It's probably just going to be your mono-locked, but I would love to see that. Another thing that we are getting is a whole bunch of new animations for spells and traps in the game. And I have seen the animations. I'm not going to show them because it was from someone else's YouTube channel, and you guys can go look it up if you want. But in all honesty, the only one that I actually liked was Skill Drain, and I hate that card. I think it's a dumb card, especially in Best of Ones. But Skill Drain actually looked really cool. Because it wasn't overbearing or silly or anything like that. Imperial Order Crossout Designator, like a dude shows up, and it looks absolutely terrible. Same with Solemn Judgment. It's just like this old guy pops up. Moving on, we have a new card bundle, and it's Infinite Impermanence. Honestly, this is probably the best of the new card bundles that you could get. This and Ash Blossom are arguably two of the best hand traps ever printed, on top of the fact that they are currently really, really good. And Infinite Impermanence actually only gets better because in the newest meta, Infinite Impermanence being able to specifically target a monster on the field as a spell and trap is very helpful. So yeah, Infinite Impermanence being a pickup for the new card bundle is huge. We're also getting some new gem packs. We've already had the ranks of Legend and King of Games known. These aren't new, so there's that, but we know that they're coming. I don't know how soon. Probably it's going to take another like month or two before we get each rank. I imagine next month we get Legend, and then the month after we get King of Games. That's my guess. Not entirely sure, but that's my guess. Moving on, we have new solo modes. Now, this is genuinely what I am the most excited about for the updates. Because Orchest is on this list for solo mode. For solo modes, sorry. I love Orchest. I think it's super dope, and I've never played it. So being able to play it in solo mode to see if I even like the deck, very cool. On top of that, the story of Orchest is also very interesting, very unique. So I'm very excited to just see that. Also, all of the rest of these are pretty nice. The challenge the SP challenges, as well as dual strategy 2, both are very nice to have. So all in all, just I'm super excited for the new solo modes. I always love when there's new solo modes. I get some gems, and I get to try out new cards and decks, and it's very interesting. And that's basically it. We do have some new IDs, which I will actually go over, and then just a UI update. So yeah, let's quickly hop over to the new mates, icons, and more. This is all of the aesthetic stuff, and given how slowly Konami has been pushing a lot of this content, I don't expect this all to drop in one update. Same with a lot of this stuff. The only thing that I expect is like the cards to all basically show up in one update. But yeah, all of this I expect, like these I could see showing up all at the same time. This is basically just like a secondary, the secondary boss monster for our protagonists of the different series. We have Palladium Oracle Mahad, which, if you've watched the Dark Side of Dimensions movie, is the big boss monster that wins the game for Yugi and Kaiba. We have Elemental Hero Honest Neos, very solid. We have Shooting Quasar Dragon for Yusei. Oh, sorry, this one was for Jaden or Judai. We have Utopic Draco Future for the Zexal character, whose name I don't care to remember. We have Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon for, again, I don't care. And then we have Access Code Talker for the Brains character, which, again, I don't care. Can you tell which generation I grew up watching? I think you can. Moving on, we have some profile pictures. Honestly, I like a lot of these. There are a lot that are very interesting. Notably, we have the guitar shredding good Dante. Actually, I don't think this one has the guitar. We have Thunder Dragon Colossus, which is very funny. We have True King of All Calamities, which immediately screams to me, oh, this might not be banned. So that's disheartening. And then we have, I think... Yeah, I'm not entirely sure who this one is. This is Albaz, by the way. This is Nilius Filius in the Japanese. I believe this is a Dream World. Here's an Orcus one. Just all in all, some very solid icons. Yeah, all in all, I don't really know. I don't think they're going to replace the ones that I'm currently using. This one might. I really like this one. But yeah, all in all, pretty cool. We have some protectors. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Dragon Maids, of course. There's going to be a lot of Dragon Maids on here. We've got Crusadia, Orchest. Orchest makes sense, seeing as how we are getting the new solo mode for that. As well as UA, we are getting the solo mode for Danger, Six Samurai. It all just kind of makes sense and makes sense. Or is a through line of logic. Although that sentence was not. Jeez, I'm crow, dude. As you can see, more Dream Mirror stuff as well. I do like these two. I wish the Master Duel logo was not in the center. I don't know. I don't know. It's better than the Duel Links protectors and sleeves and mats and stuff like that, but it's not much better. Moving on, we have a whole ton of mates that have been data mined. I think we already knew quite a few of these. Most of this top half we already knew. We got Moki Moki here, as you can see. We got a lot of this bottom crap that's literally like a rugby ball and a football ball and an American football ball and stuff like that. But notably, we are getting Skull Servant. He's pretty cool. I believe this is Hanzo. Yes, I think so. I think this is a Ghost Trick. We get Salamangreat Gazelle. We've got a Chibi Dark Magician, which is like slightly better. And then we have like Stratos and stuff like that. And whatever abomination this is, can we just... What is this? It's so bad. I'm not gonna lie. There's like 2 mates that are actually animated well, and it is the Karakuri Barrel and the Gear. Like, those are the only 2 that are actually animated well. Even the Wyvern, which I really prefer, not very good. So I'm not hopeful for a lot of these. These do not look great. However, we can have the Moe Moe interceptor cannons, which is so hilarious. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this one. Everyone is going to be using this one, but it's so funny. So, yeah, very exciting. We also have Dragon Maid Laundry, the evolved form. And I'm not going to lie, this one actually looks very clean. Just in terms of animation, the actual style of it, it doesn't give off this like uncanny valley or anything like that, like the Dark Magicians do. And it just looks nice and clean. So all in all, very nice. We get some new field parts because we are getting some new dual fields. Notably, I thoroughly love this snow one. It looks so good. Granted, my name is SnowiKs. I do like snow. I just love it. So yeah, very cool. Very exciting stuff, all in all, with everything considered. There you go. There's the updates to be looking out for. If you want to check out the leaks for yourself, go to duellinksmeta.com. It is like the first link. And as you could tell, it's still a work in progress. There's still going to be new stuff being introduced. I don't think the card list is complete at this point. I think we're still missing a few cards, probably, because this does not look like enough for a full card pull. So, of course, they do reprints and stuff like that, but yeah. So, anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated, and if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Also, consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue making daily content for you guys on this channel. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.